Hey guys, I'm Al Washington and welcome to my Mystical Lost podcast. I am here with USA Today bestselling author D.H. Gibbs, and we are going to be talking about her latest book series, Demon and Souls, and including her latest book in the installment, Mirror Witch Power. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to D.H. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Oh, hi, I'm DH Gibbs. I write um, fantasy romance with strong female characters of color, as well as interracial relationships. I love fast-paced fantasy with lots of action, amazing magical worlds, and I love my readers to submerge themselves in the story and enjoy it.
Nice. Okay. So definitely, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So that's I know the first book is Mirror Witch Magic. What inspired you to
Uh-huh.
create the Demon and Soul book series in general as a whole?
Um, well, it's really like a combination of things, I guess. Um, Parts of Mirror Witch Magic, well, the series obviously started with Mirror Witch Magic, but parts of
Mhm.
it started with like a Red Riding Hood concept,
Oh,
um,
okay.
only with magic and mirrors and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I started um analyzing like the myth behind mirrors and how people feel about mirrors because there's that story the mirror can capture your souls just like a camera could, and
Yeah.
I just really delved into that. And I was like, what if like Red Riding Hood had like a past, like she wasn't just living with her grandma, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it kind of started like that, the concept, and it just evolved
Okay.
from there. And that's how Mirror Witch Magic came about. Also, the world for Mirror Witch Magic is really reminiscent of New York City.
Okay.
That whole melting pot of multiple cultures and
Right.
multiple people. So that's what I created when I created Fusion City, which is where the main character is. It's like a whole bunch of magical beings that
Nice.
are living together, stuff like that.
Nice. Okay. And speaking of which, your main character, Selena, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, is it Declan?
So,
Okay.
Selena Declan.
Declan, I'm sorry. Yes. So first of all, on the book cover, I don't want to give too much away. I do love the book design cover. It's like breaking glass into her soul or something and revealing like a relic or a necklace on it. So I do love it though, definitely for that. Such a
Yeah.
strong character for her. Um, how was it getting into the mind
Hmm.
of your character, Selena Declan? She is known as everybody, the Mirror Witch. How was it getting
Uh-huh. Well, this might sound a little bit crazy.
in? No.
Um, a lot of people say they they get into they get into the minds of their characters, but for
Right.
me, I think it's the opposite. I think the characters get into my mind, and I
Right.
write the story how it's kind of told to me. So it's
Okay.
not like I go into their mind and think, oh, what would she do or whatever. It's more like they come into my mind and say, oh, this is what's happening. And, this is how you're going to write the story. And this
Oh
is
my
the
God.
world that we live in. So I always say, when people ask me that question, it's like, this might sound kind of crazy,
No, yeah, no.
but it's the opposite for me. It's more like they are in my mind and they are living there rent free. And I just write the story as they go along.
Okay, yeah, like I said, it's a creative process. We all got different ways of bringing out the characters, absolutely for that. Um, so so how long did it, I mean, I guess the first book before we get into the third one, how long did it take you to write the first one? Like it was it just a couple of months? Was it years? Like it had just seeds planting in your mind, especially creating the world. Was it Fusion City that the world takes
Um,
place
Honestly, so Mirror Witch Magic is the shortest one in the series. Um,
Okay.
it did take me a couple of months to write.
Okay.
But I have a habit like when I'm writing a series, it's usually like a taster, like an introduction to the characters and introduction to the world. So my first book in all of my series is usually the shortest.
Okay.
And yeah, so I spend a lot of time thinking about, okay, what's the world like? And, listening to how the story plays out. And, so it did take a couple of months for me to write that particular story. So it took about maybe 3 months, maybe.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And back then, I used to write, I used to write with pen and paper
Mm-hmm.
back then. And then transfer it over to the computer. I have since graduated from that
Oh, right.
because
Yeah.
the writing by hand is just killing my wrists.
Well, no, there's no, I still use that. Like I said, especially with my outline and breakdown, I still use like pen and
Mhm,
paper. And then when I'm
mhm,
officially ready to do like a hard copy of like the first revision, then I'll definitely, like I said, put it all in the computer. But I still, like I
mhm,
said, shorthand and drawing and visual, especially just pen and paper. I know most people go straight
mhm.
to their laptop or desktop or whatever, but no, I
Correct.
still do it oh, when I say quote unquote old school to kind of get it out of my
The
head.
manual way.
Exactly.
We
Yeah,
call it
exactly.
the
I still do
manual
that.
way.
Exactly. So nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. And now with the second book, Mirror Witch Demon. Now you have the
Hmm.
third one coming out in March 2026. And how is that
Hmm.
looking for you? How do you feel about that, the third book coming out?
Um, well, when I did Mirror Witch Demon, I knew the readers were going to come for me because of the ending of that book.
Really?
And
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
the ending of Mirror Witch Demon was kind of like heartbreaking. And in the third book, it delves into her dealing with all that heartbreak
Right.
and her magical abilities changing, and her responsibilities have changed, and it deals with her being um um her bloodline and the prophecies that was written in the story. So she's kind of facing all of that at once,
Right.
and it's
Okay.
kind of a lot.
Right.
But I think she's a very angry character
Oh my
in
God.
this book. She is
Wow.
really tough, which kind of is a good thing because it affects her magic.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Well,
I think readers are going to like this one. I really know they are going to like this one, but also they are going to come for me for the ending.
oh my God. No, not to give it, like I said, I'm not going to give it obviously too much away. It's just that you said when she's very
Sure.
angry. But again, isn't she upset about her family and everything, the background, and she's trying to, hide herself. So, like you said, all that anger can come from like maybe she doesn't want to keep hiding
Yeah.
herself. I'm not, not sure. But I looked at the reviews
Yeah.
even for the first and second book. Yeah, they said it's a beautiful story. It's a very good cliffhanger, and they want the next one. That's what I'm saying. When you mentioned that the
Yeah.
second book, yeah. So that but they want more. So yeah, based
They
on what I
want, which
read.
is good. Yeah, they want more, and they're gonna come for me. I know it.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, March is around the corner. What, January is in a couple of weeks, please. So yeah, I
Yeah.
know it's coming. So I know you're excited for it.
Yeah.
It looks really good though. So
Yeah.
looking forward to
I
more to
have to
hear.
do the cover reveal,
Okay.
and I should have done it like a while now, and I just keep putting it off because I had like so many things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think definitely January I'm gonna hit the ground running. So I'm gonna have the cover reveal, and then start I'm gonna start sending out notice for ARC readers, so people who
Okay.
wants an ARC of the book. Um, So if you've read book one and two,
Right.
then you can probably sign up for my opt-in to get book three. And
Absolutely.
be the first
Absolutely.
to
No, Vanessa, but
to see the story.
no, but like you said with the design cover for the third book, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. You don't want to rush it. I mean, literally, like that's what's selling the book. It's like that's the showcase. And you probably are still just kind of contemplating going back and forth, like this may not work. No, I don't like this. So, I mean, that's good. You're not really not quote unquote rushing. I know March is around the corner, but I mean, still, you really want to, making sure you have the right book cover for the third one. So I get that. I know it's a lot. I'm sure you got under a lot of pressure. So yeah, but.
Yeah, it's just a lot at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely nothing wrong with taking a break. Absolutely. On another side note, I hear that you are now a finalist for, I guess, the TNT Newsday, like the Trinidad and Tobago
Um,
newspaper.
that well, that's not a recent development actually. That happened like so many years ago. I was a finalist for the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday Choice Awards. That I was in the top three. Oh, I think if I remember correctly,
Okay.
top three. Top three or yeah, top three or top five. But that happened some years ago, maybe 2016, 2017. But that was for one of my children's books.
Okay. That's what. Okay.
Because initially when I first started publishing, I did children's stories first, which was strictly Caribbean, with Caribbean elements.
Okay.
And for that particular book, I made it to the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday finalist um, award, I would say, and there.
Mhm.
So that was the that was the I think the last children's book I did. Yeah, because I
No,
only did like two.
well, congratulations. No, no, I definitely wanted to bring that up because I'm not familiar, like I said, with that. I heard a lot of things that they do a lot of heavy social media rotation for that newsletter for the Trinidad and Tobago. They cover a lot, like from events, sporting
Mhm.
events, entertainment, and stuff. So that's definitely still truly a blessing that
Yeah.
you were a finalist for that. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like I was very surprised
Hmm.
because I had two books up, which was one was the kids book and one was another book that I had written, which is now revamped. But the children's book made it into the finalists, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, congrats.
So
That's all right. Still, definitely, congratulations, though. Definitely, you made it to definitely to the finalists for that. Okay. Destiny, what
thank
made you?
you.
You're very What made you become a writer? And I like to ask this to all my writers who will come on the show. Like, did something lit a fire under your ass? Like, what made you bring out your passion as a writer and an author?
Um, I should say a series of events. Um, to be honest, my first foray into writing was when I was in high school or secondary school, as we say in the Caribbean. We would write fan fiction stories
Hmm.
about TV shows that we liked. All right.
Okay.
And my friend and I, uh, we would write stories and we would exchange it and talk about what we like, what we would change, right? Then I graduated and then the real world came in.
Oh yeah, I know. I hear
So
that.
I stopped writing. I wasn't reading for a while.
Hmm.
Um, and then uh, I ended up doing a course which involved writing a story, um, and printing it out and making the book from scratch
Okay.
by hand. So it was
Right.
like a project for this course. And after that, I realized, oh, I really love writing the story. I really love making this book. I
Right.
really love telling the story. And around that same time, um, around that same time, the there was like a competition. I forgot the name of the online competition, and they wanted like a short story,
Okay.
which I did write. And after I wrote that story and I sent it in, of course, nothing ever happened. But I
Right.
wrote the story, sent it in, and the story ended up continuing, like the characters end up continuing the story in my mind.
Hmm.
And I just said, okay, I'm just gonna write this one story.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's how it starts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like in our heads.
yeah. And it didn't, I did it end up being more than one story.
Oh, that's
It
right.
evolved. It just evolved from there, and more stories came. I did more activities with other authors, like group anthologies and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, and it just evolved from there. Because
Yeah.
actually, I do write fantasy and romance. I have
Uh-huh.
a different pen name for my romance books, but fantasy these days are my main focus.
Yeah, and like and here we are. The rest is history. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I know it's the end of the year, and I like to ask this for all the writers. Some writers are taking a break because they get a mental break because it's the end of the year. Do you mind me asking, do you have any holiday plans? Are you taking a break from writing, or are you going to do like some special holiday writing?
Um, December, no writing. Because the reason for that is because usually I do write in December because I'm on break and I have the time.
Right.
But I did Novel November with uh, Pro Writing Aid.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar. It's like where you focus on writing 50,000 words for the 30 days of November. So, right. So every day you write like 1,600 or whatever.
I'm vaguely
So
unfamiliar
I
with that.
did novel, yeah, I did novel November um with Pro Writing Aid. This is my um first time doing it. I had
Mhm.
planned to do it before, but I always put it off. So this year I said, okay, I'm just gonna jump in.
Right.
So I did that and I crashed at the end of November.
Oh God.
And I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm exhausted. So December is no writing.
Nothing wrong with
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah. Also, Mirror Witch Power went off to the editor, so it's gonna come back, and I'm gonna need to edit
Yes.
that book. So I'll be editing, maybe working on what I'm going to post on social media
Right.
for January, February, leading up to release, and working on releasing Mirrorage Power. So that's what's going to happen in December. There will be no new writing.
I know, no new writing or not just writing in general. No, in the lovely world of editing, yeah, I can't. Yeah, we need to rest. Yeah, I hear you with that. So definitely
Yeah,
resting and enjoy your time. Absolutely. So yeah, it's a lot. Trust me. Yeah, the editing. Yeah, I need a moment of silence
yeah.
because
So,
anyway, I can't wait. Edit. Yeah, I we have to switch. Do you have any tips or pointers for those who want to break in writing or writers in general, or simply those who want to do it but just simply kind of scared to start?
um, I think a lot of people don't do things because they're always afraid of
Mhm.
what's going to happen.
Right.
But what I've learned is that, you know, if you do it and you fail at it, it just your life, there's no change in your life. Your life remains the same.
Right.
Nothing is different. But if you do it and you're successful at it, then that's when your life changes. And if it's something that you really want, it will be best. But for beginner writers, I would suggest starting with short stories, see how you feel writing it, see how you feel comfortable with it.
Right.
Also, short stories can help you, develop your style. Are you a plotter, a pantser, an intuitive writer, that sort of thing. Because for me, learning my style of writing helps me write faster. When I discovered my style of writing,
Hmm.
I realized I write faster. Because if your style of writing is different to what you're trying to make yourself do, the
Right.
story is just never going to come. The book is never going to come. So it's better if you know, practice using short stories, learn your style of writing, and
Right.
then you can progress from there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I hear that. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, DH, thank you very much for taking the time to come on with me in my loft in the
Thank you for
podcast.
having me.
Of course, you're very
Yeah.
welcome. I'm definitely excited that I'm reading your first book and is definitely going to get it through. So I appreciate it. I love the cover, love the concept of it, the whole thing in general, taking place in Fusion City. So I'm definitely
Thank you.
excited. You're very welcome. And you want to let them know and everybody know where they can find you, your website, the book from Amazon, the first two books, but yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, you can find me on all the socials under, of course, DH Gibbs or DH Gibbs author.
Hmm.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I think that's about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
I'm
Oh,
gonna have
please.
to
Yeah,
think
whatever.
about that.
Snapchat is a lot.
Um,
Trust me.
Pinterest, of course, but Pinterest is just like mostly, I feel it's mostly for me.
Right.
Yes, you can find me at DH Gibbs, author on all of those. My website is dhgibbs.com. Pretty soon I'm going to be offering like signed paperbacks for
Okay.
people who love the paperback books.
Right.
Um, I'm going to be offering signed paperbacks, and along with the signed paperbacks, you get like some small goodies. So be on the lookout for that in 2026.
Uh-huh.
And also, you can find the ebooks on Amazon and the paperbacks on any um, paperback distributors, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, Target, Amazon. You can find the paperbacks there.
Nice. Okay. Well, you guys definitely please check her out. Thank you again, D.H. Gibbs. And we can't definitely wait for the third book to come out next year in March. So, guys, thank you guys for hanging out with me and DH. So, you guys all have a good night, and I will see you next time.
Thank you.
You're
See you
very
guys next
welcome.
time.